Go on.
Oh god.
Hold it. Not towards you, to me.
See that? No! Get the crap out of here.
Softball is an alteration of baseball played with a larger ball and smaller field. Softball was invented in 1888 in Chicago as an indoor game. It had received multiple discrete names like ladies' ball or kitten ball. The game was given the name softball in 1926. Soon thereafter, the game of softball began to be one of the most famous sports in the world. An important day for me in the world of softball was June 9th, 2011. It was game day against Key High. I was on third base. I had taken too big of a lead as the pitch was thrown. The catcher whipped the ball to the third baseman as I took off for home. They obtained me in a rundown. After attempting to juke my way out of the rundown, I belly slid into third base. My hands were clenched in a fist until I grasped the bag. I thought for sure I was safe. The ump thought otherwise. I laid face down in the dirt, dust filled my helmet, and I felt my knee throbbing in pain. Ultimately, I jolted up and jogged to the dugout as if nothing was wrong. I painfully scuffled out to my natural position at shortstop. Suddenly, it became hard to move my knee. I squatted into my athletic stance, glanced down, and noticed one foot was visible below my knee. My knee had swelled up 3 times its normal size. Thankfully, our team acquired 3 outs and we were soon up to bat. I took my practice swings while standing in the on-deck circle. I turned towards the dugout and said to my teammates, I hope I hit this over so I don't have to run. On my third pitch, I heard the crack of the bat and I knew the ball went far. I looked to the left fielder who sprinted towards the fence. Then I looked back to the ump who rose his arm and moved his finger in a circular motion. The entire time, all I could hear was my mom and Coach Bill as they screamed from their coaching positions. I trotted around the bases, and my teammates greeted me at home plate with a pat on the helmet. I worked excruciatingly hard to become a home run hitter. It took hard work, time, effort, and determination. And finally, just like that, it happened. Playing fast-pitch softball is not easy. Balls fly everywhere, potentially leaving a beautiful bruise and a significant welt of laces on an unsuspecting player. One of my favorite parts of softball is batting. It takes a lot of practice to become an expert batter. There are special techniques to help a player become great. The techniques deal with all parts of the body. To be a good batter, I needed to be in an athletic stance, knees bent and shoulder width apart. Provided that I bend down too low in my stance, when I swing, I am forced to rise up to a level that is more comfortable to me when I swing. While I rise up during the swing, it forces me to golf swing. If I golf swing at a ball, I am up cutting, and there is no chance for me to hit the ball. I need to swing level, which means parallel to the ground. I locked my knees to prevent any movement, so I can make contact with the ball. To test that I am locking my knees appropriately, one could push me to see if I move. To prevent me from falling, my left foot should be slightly turned facing the pitcher. Opening my foot also allows my hips to open my swing. Opening the hips is greatly important. It gives me power and the range for my hits increases. After I work on my lower extremities, I move to my upper half. Before I step in the batter's box, I look at my hands. Last year, I was taught to line up my knuckles, the joint between carpals and metacarpals. It feels incredibly strange, but it helps roll my wrist over when I bat. If I do not roll my wrist, it forces the ball up, becoming a pop fly instead of a line drive or grounder. Pop flies are not good. They are basically free outs. When I was younger, I was always taught keep your back elbow up. That is not the case. The proper way to hold the bat before swing is to keep the elbow closest to the catcher in next to my ribs. My elbow closest to the pitcher should be at a 90-degree angle. When I step in the batter's box, I extend my arms out. While doing so, I look to see if the bat covers the plate. During a swing, it is crucial that I extend my arms. If I do not extend my arms, the ball will foul tip off the end of my bat. It is also important to jab swing. Since my right elbow is by my side, I cannot bring it back to get a giant swing. When I start my swing, I jab with my wrists, keeping the bat head up. As I jab, I also begin my swing in the same motion. This allows for more power. Also, jabbing helps me roll my wrist. After I practice all the important minuscule details, I put everything together. As I step into the batter's box, I go over the techniques I had practiced. The most important element is to watch the ball. I watch the ball like a hawk does a mouse. I never take my eye off the ball. If I do not watch it, everything else I practice is pointless. As the pitch comes, I watch it connect with the head of the bat as the ball goes flying over the fence. I thank whoever invented the game of softball in 1888. Softball is literally my life. Without softball, I would not be who I am today. If I did not get the proper training of how to hit a ball, I would have been forced to run my crippled knee around the bases on June 9, 2011. Keeping the stance strong, hands aligned tight, elbows in, and eyes on the ball for success.